Hello and welcome to another Demon 212 Wii Ware review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Thruspace High Velocity 3D Puzzle, which if you've never played it before, it's a puzzle game. I know, shocker, it does say a puzzle. And at the start you get a load of enforced tutorials, but once you do those you can go on to start, leaderboard, which can be online, how to play, or obviously the different options which you get here, which are normal, endless, trick challenge. You can go back to the tutorials if you want to. You can view your replays under key-driven memories. But for now I'm going to stick with normal and try and explain the game, because it's unlike any puzzle game I've ever really played before. It's kind of like a really naff game show on TV, which I don't really want to get in trouble by mentioning its actual title, but you'll know it when you see it, really. The only difference is, rather than celebrities playing for charity, you're playing for fun. Right then. The whole point is you've got these keys. Now you can see this one here is just simply 3 blocks. The next one up is a T block. You then get that one, which is a T block with a little bit on the end. Then it's like a Z block with a bit on top. Then it's I suppose U block with a bit on top. Then it's an L block with 2 bits on top. And the whole point is you get 3 stages per block, and then when you unlock the final one you get an X stage for the rest as well. And every time you unlock a new key-driven, you can unlock a new background. So yellow goes with yellow, purple goes with purple, but you can play them in any order you want. I'm quite simply using purple because it's always been my favourite colour ever since a kid. And the whole point of the game is to get through the holes here. But it's not just that simple, because if you make it that simple, you'll beat the entire game in about an hour. It's one of those that, for longevity and that, it's not that long at all if that's how you're going to play it. If you're going to play it properly though, you're going to have a lot of fun with this, because the whole point is to be fast. And the faster you are, the better score you get. And the better you do with collecting these pink gems, the better score you get. And then there's the fact that there's all sorts of things like this here. Now, you can probably see these images superimposing over them. The whole point is they're a trick system. Basically, the entire block has to match up with what you've got there. Now, it's impossible to make shapes that big with just obviously these blocks, so you've got to fit them in. So, for example, if you had a 6x6 square and you were using the T block, you'd have to just keep moving the T block round until you'd superimposed every one of the yellow blocks over your picture, and then that counts as a trick. And the more complex you do it and the more complex the hole you go through, the better score you get with a trick. And if you do it with collecting the 2 pink gems as well, then again the better score you get, and the faster you go the better score you get, because you can speed up like this. And it's just an amazing game for high score play. The only problem is it's got some problems, and one of them is the fact that the game relies on speed. So for example, if I speed into a wall here, then I immediately start up again. That's great. If I do it again on my last life, I can't immediately start up again. And for a game to revolve around speed, to take forever to then start up again, it's incredibly frustrating when you just want to jump back into it, especially the whole wait for 3 seconds, that I don't see any need to it. It just really does annoy me and put me off, especially because I can restart myself by doing that, but I can't if I've just died on my last life, so that then takes more time, but I still have to go through this, and there's no way to skip it or anything. The walls themselves, because speed is the whole point of it, you're going to be speeding up to go through, regardless of whether or not you've completed the thing. You've got to get through, because you've got a very strict time limit. However, the walls will sometimes completely, well, screw you, quite frankly, because it's one of these games where if the walls were invisible, it would be great, because you could always see where the next thing was. Like if there was see-through but with marking, so you could see that it was a wall, then it would be fine. But instead, every now and then, the wall will throw at you a block of just 2 squares, the smallest on the game, and you'll go through it and there'll immediately be another wall right there, and because you were holding the speed button, you'll crash straight into the other wall because you had no idea it was there. So then it becomes a game where the whole point is you've got to really remember to be able to play it. You've got to kind of count your sequences, and you've got to know, well, after, when I go up to wall with the number 3 on it, right after I've got to immediately turn because there's a number 2 wall within 2 seconds. Whereas other times it can be, right, I've just went through wall number 10, I've got a huge amount of time before I get a wall number 9. There's then problems with the controls. They're a bit fiddly because there's, for example, the R button turns you clockwise. There's no counterclockwise because the L button is speed on through because I'm using the classic controller. However, you can use the Wiimote on its own or the Wiimote and nunchuck. And it's quite annoying that there's no counterclockwise because sometimes you just really need to be able to go counterclockwise. There's then the A, B, X, Y buttons, and the reason I am using the classic controller is because the A, B, X, Y buttons at least make it simpler, because quite simply each one turns the block a different way in a different dimension, so it means that you can at least kind of get some form of pattern going, because you know that you've got to flip it, say, twice upwards, then you'd have to know, right, I have to hit that button twice, or twice right, or then I have to go twice right then clockwise. I personally recommend the classic controller is what I'm trying to say, and in albeit stuttery way. So as I say, that is a little annoying with it. Graphically the game's very basic, but it works to its advantage. It needs to be basic really, because if there was too much going on it would put you off. Musically it sounds great. Gameplay wise is incredibly addictive and evil, especially this mode here where you have to accomplish the tricks to get past the wall, because if you don't then it doesn't let you get past the wall at all. So for example here, I'm red, and there we go, crash, died, even though I went through the hole because I didn't accomplish the trick. Endless is just basically the regular game but on endless mode, and you do get a choice of your bricks as well, so you can make it as hard or as easy as you want. You get a choice of level the further you go through, and still get the choice of background. There's actually quite a lot of options here if you play the game properly. It's just if you're playing it purely as, right, well I'll beat stages 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3, then oh I've just got X, so if I beat X1, X2, X3, etc. That really doesn't work saying etc after a lot of X's, but all the same, then you're only going to have about an hour with it, so you'd be better off buying the sequel, because I didn't know this game existed until today, which is like April 5th, 2012, and the only reason I found out about it is because there's a sequel now on the 3DS, which hopefully the review should be up by the time you're done watching a little bit of the music. So there we go then. That's been the review. I hope you found it helpful. I don't score the games because that's based purely on opinion, so instead I'll leave you to make your own mind up. So thanks for watching, and if you've got any questions about the game that I didn't answer in the vid or that hasn't been answered in the comments, then feel free to ask and I'll help if I can. Also, if you did find it helpful, don't forget to check out my channel because there's plenty more like this up there, and don't forget to subscribe because there'll be plenty more to come as well. So until next time, this has been Demon212, signing off.